my name is Angela. Welcome to Crochet and Beyond. Today I'm going to teach you how to do the puff stitch. If you're looking into a very tightly knit, closed type of crochet piece, this might be a very good stitch for you to work with. It's not very lacy, so to say. That's what I mean. You will notice that there is a lot of bumps here, and that's what the puff is all about. So you will learn how to yarn over a lot and make sure that you make these clusters correctly. All right, plan a lot of yarn for this one here. This one here uses quite a bit. Now let me tell you a trick. You don't have to just do this square. For me here, this square is part of a bigger blanket. So for example, I have this here. This is something I'm making. I'm doing several different kinds of stitches with small squares, and I'm joining them, and I'm gonna make 9 of these big squares, and it's gonna become a queen-sized bedspread. Now, that's me here. You can do this any size you want. You know why? Because I'm going to tell you a secret here, which is the foundation chain. If you chain a multiple of 4 plus 2 chains, you will always line up the ends perfectly. Okay? Now, as you notice, our puffs here, they are alternating. So you have to pay attention that each row starts in the correct manner. But doesn't matter how many are on your row, how many stitches you have, how many chains you've done, it will always end up perfectly. But you need to follow the rule. Chain 4 plus 2. Multiple of 4 plus 2. Okay, so do your math and make the size you want. So this can open up the possibilities for blankets, for tablecloths, for purses, I don't know, whatever you have in mind. What will you need here? The yarn I'm using is Red Heart Super Saver worsted weight size 4. I do have scissors, 2 hooks. I like to make my foundation chain with a slightly bigger hook, 5.25, and a smaller one for the work itself at 5 millimeters. Also, you need a needle with a big eye and dual point to weave in the ends. You can use any yarn you want. Now just remember that the thicker the yarn, the bigger your piece becomes, the littler, the tinier, thinner your yarn, the thinner it is. That is what it is. So thank you so much here for taking a look at this stitch. I hope you enjoy doing this. So let's get our hooks, let's get our yarn, and let's get busy. And you might have to maybe try and... Let's get started with the foundation chain, and you will need 26 chains. So I like to do my initial knot this way. I make a loop right here, hold on tight, insert the hook, and go 1, 2, 3. Hold on tight. Then hold on tight at the top and let go at the bottom and pull a string. That leaves a knot and the very first foundation chain right there. We need a total of 26, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 24, 25, 26. Alrighty, so let's leave that bigger hook behind. Grab a smaller one, okay? So make sure that your foundation chain is even and somewhat stretchy like that. That's why a slight bigger hook always helps to achieve this stretchiness of your chain. Alrighty, your very first row here is single crochets in every chain to the end. Now for that to happen, you need to just skip the very first chain, that one right there, and insert your hook right here on the second chain from the hook. So let's go from there. That is 1, and then the next one 2, and 3, and 4. So I'm going to skip forward, and by the end you should have 25 single crochets. And there is 23, 24, and 25. That is your very first row. Alrighty, so before you move on to row 2, chain 1, and then you turn. Okay, Alrighty, on row 2 here, you are going to start making the puff stitches. And pay attention closely here because it will take a lot of yarn over the hook movements. It can be a little tricky at first, so I'm gonna do it as slow as possible here so you can follow me. And if it feels like a big mess, just undo and do again, and be patient there because it can be a bit fussy, okay? So let's get started. Single crochet in the very first 4 chains. So start right here close to home. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now let's work your first puff stitch, and it's all gonna happen in the same stitch, so pay attention carefully here. Yarn over, insert in the next stitch, pull up a loop. Don't finish it up. Keep it quite loosely. Yarn over, insert in the same space, pull up a loop. And then do that again. Yarn over, insert, pull up a loop. There we go. Now, here you should see 7 loops around your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alrighty? Then yarn over and pull through all 7. Alrighty, makes it a big clustery looking stitch. Now when you do this stitch, make sure that you pull in and draw the yarn through the stitch very loosely. Otherwise, when you have the 7 loops around your hook too tight, it's a bit difficult to pull that last loop into all 7 in one shot. So make sure it's not too tight. Alrighty, that's your first puff. And if that didn't look good for you, just go back a little and try again. I'm gonna move forward here, okay? Now single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, it's time for a puff stitch again. Yarn over, into the stitch, and draw through. So keep it loose, keep it loose. Yarn over, into the same stitch, and pull up a loop. Keep it loose right there. Yarn over, and one more time. So you do this yarn over and pull up a loop 3 times until you have the 7 loops you're after. And then with one big stroke, pull through all 7. Make sure it's loose. And as you work, you will notice that the puff likes to show up in the other side, and that's okay. You kind of want to really actually make it go that way. Single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 2 and 3, and puff stitch. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, all in the same stitch. Pull through. One more time. There we go. Now you have all 7. Always double check to make sure. And here we go. Alrighty, so I'm going to go one more time with you here. 3 stitches. 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches. Another puff. There is once. There is a twice. And there is your 3 times that you have to go through that same stitch. And pull through. Alright. We're almost done. Let me just finish up this row here with you. And then the next one will be a little easier, I'm sure. One more here. And here. And here. And pull through. There we go. Now we need to finish up the row here. And you started with 4 single crochets here. You need to make sure that this side has 4 single crochets as well. And here we go. There is 1, 2, 3, and this one is always a bit weird, I know, but just find a good space there and force it in if you have to. And there we go. So you see what's going on here? On the edges you have 4 single crochets and then a puff, and then always 3 in between the puffs, 3 single crochets between the puffs. And then when you get to the very end, you need to finish up with 4 single crochets as well. On your third row, before you turn, 1 chain, and then do the entire row with single crochet all to the end, and you should have 25 when you are done. That is, of course, for this project here. If you're working on something that is longer, well, then just know that, hey, you had, for example, I had 26 on the foundation chain. Therefore, I have always 25 single crochets. So if your foundation chain was bigger, was longer, then just make sure that your amount of single crochets is 1 less than the amount of foundation chains you had. Make sense? Alrighty. So let's move on here, and then I'm gonna show you how to do row 4. It's gonna be a bunch of puff stitches as well, but the amount of single crochets right there at the beginning of the row is slightly different. So you need to stay with me here. I can't just skip forward to the end of the row, to the end of the work, because otherwise our puff stitches might not end up alternating, and that's exactly the beauty about this stitch, is that the puffs alternate. Okay, there we go. That is 25. Sounds good. So you got, for this one here, 5 puffs. Before you turn for row 4, make sure that you chain 1 and then turn. Alrighty. Now this row needs puff stitches again, but because we want these puff stitches to alternate as they grow into your work, you will have to start this row with only 2 single crochets. 1 and 2. Already? The other one here, remember you started 4. There was 4 here in the beginning and 4 at the end. Well, on this row of puff stitches, you have 2, and then work a puff. 1, 2, and 3. And then here the same thing. Skip always 3. Don't skip. I'm saying single crochet 3 in between the puffs. So I think on this row I can pass forward and meet you at the end of the row, right? Okay, I'm gonna do my last puff stitch here. 2 and 3. Okay, and then we have 2 single crochets to finish up the row. 1 and 2. Okay, chain, and guess what? Next row you're gonna do just single crochets. Okay, so this is now what you have to continue repeating every time you have a puff stitch row. Okay, so you notice that the puff stitch rows alternate with single crochet rows, correct? So every time when the puffs are looking towards you, you see they're all there, that's definitely time to just work single crochets. When they're looking away from you, it's like the wrong side, then it's time to do a puff stitch row, okay? Now, make sure that you alternate your rows in this manner. One row starts with 4 single crochets and ends with 4 single crochets, and it will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 puffs here in my case. And the other row starts with 2 and ends with 2 single crochets, and then it gets more puffs in that row too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actually. So you see that? And this way, as your work grows, the puffs alternate and they are not building up on top of each other. Alrighty? So keep that in mind, alternating 4s and 2s, and you should be good. Alright? So go ahead and build your work as big as it needs to be. And then towards the end, I'm going to show you how to do a simple single crochet edging. Alright, welcome back, and my square is finished. So here it is. I did 13 puff stitch rows. So without counting the single crochet rows in between, I had 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Alrighty? So that's all I needed to make this look like a square. I'm going to show you now how to do a very simple single crochet edging. Each corner will have 3 single crochets, and in between each corner there will be 25 stitches. I am particular about the 25 stitches here for this square because I'm joining this square with other squares to make a blanket. So that's why I need those 25 stitches later on for that joining to be exact. If you are not doing a blanket and not joining this with anything, then you don't need to be so particular about 25, but you need to make sure that you decide to put enough or not, I should say not too few, not too many, because otherwise too many will ruffle your edge and too few will make it tight. So you want to have just the right amount. Now before you go on, we are not going to turn. Ready? Our last row of single crochet was done, so I'm not turning. However, I will do 1 chain. And then right here, I'm going to make this my corner, just pretty much wherever, right there. And that is a 1 and 2, and this is my 3rd single crochet. Now look at the other side and estimate where the other corner is gonna go. And my guess is right there. See that tiny little spot right there? That will be my corner. Alrighty, now on this stitch here, it's a little bit difficult to visualize exactly where you're gonna put your single crochet. If you have followed my other stitches, sample stitches that I have videos available, some of them, the edges are very open. There's big holes here, right? So this one here didn't happen. So you have to be a bit more careful on where you insert. Now, if you feel the edge, there is always one part that's a bit bumpy. That's always going to be a difficult one to put the crochet hook into. So let's try to skip those. In between each bumpy part, there is 2 openings right there. Then skip the bumpy and then look for the next 2 openings. Skip the bumpy. So that's what I'm gonna try. Alrighty, so let's see if I count them, how many will I get? So skip the bumpy. So that's my 3 right there. Skip the bumpy. 1, 2, skip. 3, 4, skip. 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Oh my goodness, that was perfect. I did not plan that. Nice. Well, I know that this size of square will make more or less 25, but usually I have to double them up a little bit or sometimes shrink it a little bit. But this one here was right on the mark. So let's do that then. Okay, there's my 3. So skip the first bumpier part and then go 1 and 2. And there's the bumpy again. Skip 3 and 4. Already. 5, 6, 7, 8. Very good. 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, and 14, 15, 16, coming along, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 21, 20, yeah, 22, 23, 24, 25. Very good. There's my next corner right there. And I'm gonna just do my 3 here for the corner. 2 and 3. There we go. Alrighty. Now here we have the other edging. This is a very even one. Okay, this one was your foundation chain. So just go where you see a loop. So let's see if we get enough, okay? Always double check first. My corner will be, okay, that's my corner right there. So remember that that's gonna be the corner. So we have to go up to there. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I will need to double up somewhere. I will double up somewhere here in the middle. So you see, this one wasn't as exact as this one. Okay, let's go. One. Two. Yeah, they stretch out a little bit, but that's okay. 3, 4. Yeah, careful you don't get both. 5. Oh, hang on. That one didn't turn out right. There we go. 5. Careful you don't do here, see? You want right there. 6. 7. If it splits the yarn, just make sure you correct that. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. I'm gonna double up right here. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. Oops. 19. Again, keep splitting the yarn, right? 20. 21. 22. 23. 24 and 25. Very good. Let's do the next corner right there. Did I say it was right there or right there? I think it looks more like right there, huh? Yeah. 1, 2. So it doesn't have to be like an exact science, you know. Sometimes if you look like, wait, it makes more sense this way, then go with it. Trust the process. It usually turns out okay. Alrighty, as you move on, do this one here just as you did here. Estimate 25 between your corners, and then when we're here, I'm gonna do the last edge together. Okay? Already, my last corner was made. So let's look at how many we got here. It's very close to 25, I'm very sure. So let's check. There is your first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Ta-da! Perfect. I love it when it turns out perfect. So, you see a chain on each. Grab both loops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this one goes fast. 7, 8. Come along. 9, 10. Okay, meet you at the end. All right? Okay, there we go. 24 and 25. Perfect. All right. Now, that very first top there is where you join and do a slip stitch. And all done. Good one. Okay, then cut here. Pull the string in and weave in the end. To weave in the end, I use a needle with a dual point. Okay, and here we go. And look more towards the back here and just put it into, yeah, into the single crochets you just made. And I usually go until I have no more yarn. On the side, do the same, weave in and snip off, and then you're done. Looks really very cute, doesn't it? I love this three-dimensional look it makes. So very nice. Alrighty. If you are creating something very unique with this stitch, I would love to see it. Check out my Facebook group. There is a link in the descriptions below, so you might want to join us there, and you can post your pictures there too. So would love to see what you come up with. This is a lovely stitch. Alrighty, take care. Till soon.